But there is a fundamental difference between Islam and extremism. Islam is a great religion, observed peacefully and devoutly by over 1 billion people in our world.
His teachings are good and peaceful. The face of terror is not the true faith of Islam. That's not what Islam is all about. Islam is peace.
Who set revenge on you? So we can invade their country and get their wives and war booty. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
The hadith of the Prophet Muhammad emphasizes the duty of care. We owe one another.
Because you're walking through a Muslim area, dressed like a fag, mate. You need to get out of it. Yeah, get out of it quicker then.
So during this special month, let us also celebrate the diversity that contributes to Britain's strength. Muslims make a huge contribution to Britain's success.
And now we find out that the homegrown terrorist who plotted it all was on welfare payments for 19 years. He never worked a day and has cost us millions.
And Muslims make an incredibly valuable contribution to our country.
Young Muslims say they want to turn Buckingham Palace into a mosque. CNN's Nick Robertson spoke to their leader, who is determined to see the UK become an Islamic state.
Ramadan teaches patience and humility, reminds us of our shared moral universe and our obligations to others.
Into the World Trade Center. It was a jet. It was a very large plane. It was going fast. It went past the Ritz-Carlton Hotel that's being built in Battery Park. It flew right past it, almost hit it, and then went in.
Holy shit! What happened? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
The American people were appalled and outraged at last Tuesday's attacks, and so were Muslims all across the world.
In East Jerusalem today, among jubilant Palestinians that the United States had been subject to this attack. What are we to make of that, Jennifer? Yasser Arafat may issue this condemnation. Look at this. We're seeing people applauding, clapping, smiling, happy to know that thousands of Americans have died in this sneak attack. And there you see a V for Victory sign held up to the camera.
And Muslims and nations were just appalled and could not believe what we saw on our TV screens.
Muslims rejoicing in the carnage. They call themselves the Revolution Muslim. Today on their website, they called the alleged shooter, Major Hassan, an officer and a gentleman. They said, quote, "We love you." At the same time, they called the slain soldiers terrorists who are in, quote, eternal hellfire. These men are radicals, but they are also Americans, believe it or not, who praise Osama bin Laden and celebrate the 9/11 attacks.
When we think of Islam, we think of a faith that brings comfort to 1 billion people around the world. It's a great country because we share the same values of respect and dignity and human worth.
Their goal, nothing short of Muslim domination of the United Kingdom, if not the world.
This poster is basically showing how we will transform Buckingham Palace into a local mosque for the Muslims.
And what happens to the Queen?
Well, the Queen, she has a choice. She can either become Muslim or she can leave the country.
This man, Amjad Chowdhury, is their leader. He demands Islamic law, known as Sharia, to be the law of the land.
The terrorists are traitors to their own faith.
He describes the 9/11 attackers as the Magnificent 19.
Islam is a peaceful and tolerant religion, and the acts of these people are wholly contrary to the teachings of the Quran.
This is London, 9:47 on a midsummer morning. The terrified voices are those of mourning commuters. Some of them terribly wounded. These images captured by a passer-by moments after the explosion. The terrorists struck one of the city's most reassuring everyday symbols, a London bus, the number 30 from Hackney to Marble Arch. What many remember is the extraordinary noise of the blast, rising above the noise of rush hour. Shards of metal, the blood of the wounded, blasted onto nearby buildings.
I have great respect for the Islamic religion. These acts and violence against innocents violate the fundamental tenets of the Islamic faith.